Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video we're going to talk about how your future spouse sees you, and we're going to get into details, and I prepare 4 groups for you to choose from. So if you're new here, you just have to pick intuitively to which of the group or the groups you feel the most drawn to and click on the timestamp in the comment or in the description and just get your reading that way. So this is our group 1 and we have the clear crystal. This is our group 2, and again we have the opal. This is our group 3, and this is our clear crystal. Finally, this is our group 4, and this is our crystal. Pause this video. I'll also give you a moment of meditation so you can really pick the group or the groups you feel really drawn to, and I will see you at the click of your timestamps. Welcome group 1, sit back, relax, we're gonna get the details, and the clear crystal really makes you have that clarity and healing energy. So let's see, how will your future spouse see you? So optimism. Let's draw 2 more cards. Shame. Acceptance. All right, so first of all, we have a little story going on here, right? There are some things that you give off, especially when it comes to your energy, about perhaps the sad disappointments that you faced in the past that really show on your face that you have this kind of like sad energy at first when your future spouse meets you. And it could be that you are going to meet your future spouse right at the time of you having gone through like a recent breakup, or maybe you just feel stressed at that moment. So your future spouse really sees that despite those negative feelings that you might be having deep inside, only when the future spouse really looks at you deeply, they can see that sad side within you. However, they see that you stay really optimistic, like you really try to smile, you really try to laugh it out, and you really try to, face life through challenges like this, like the emotional challenges that come your way with optimism, by really staying positive and maybe laughing and finding humor and finding good friendships. And so your future spouse really sees you as a person resilient and someone that is able to have this kind of growth mindset, in which you are someone who do not really give up easily, and you are someone who really gets up from hurdle, and you are someone who sees like negative experiences as an opportunity for growth and an opportunity for learning. So that is how your future spouse sees you, especially as the first impression. And your future spouse also sees you as someone who is non-judgmental, right? So someone who is able to accept all different kinds of people, someone who is able to accept life as it is, someone who is able to accept like imperfections, and someone who doesn't really, aim for that unrealistic versions of being perfect all the time. So your future spouse really sees you as someone who is able to have this very wise outlook on life, and someone that they can really enjoy life with, and someone that is able to give unconditional love. That kind of vibe is how your future spouse really feels from you. So that is what we're seeing, and we're gonna get more details with the tarot cards, how your future spouse sees you. Let's see, like over time, right, how they would perceive you. All right, so especially, when it comes to the first impressions, we see that your future spouse really looks at you and they really get curious, because you are someone like who speaks, but you don't really open up easily. You keep your private life to yourself, and you only share those kind of intimate information and about your feelings only to close friends and or people that you really trust. So you are someone who really goes deep only in the circle that you select. And because of that, your future spouse really at first, right, sees you as someone mysterious and someone that they really want to get to know, because they actually see a lot of like your future spouse has a very high perceptiveness, meaning that, right, they see that you are sad deep down just by looking at you more deeply. So your future spouse is someone who is a very good face reader, right? People reader. They can read people really well, and they know that you are someone that has a lot to say and a lot of experiences more than you let. So maybe you know, you're laughing, you're like having fun, and you're taking it easy on the outside, but your future spouse sees you as someone who is layered, someone who has a lot more to say, someone who with a lot of like interesting life stories. So your future spouse really sees you as someone that is really, really worth and deserving to get to know, someone that they want to, you know, read, someone that they sees as an interesting book, you know. So yeah, they really like the cover of you, meaning that even though you have this mysterious vibe to your future spouse really loves that kind of mysterious vibe that you bring to the table. And in fact, you give off like an enchanting kind of vibe as well. You have the vibe that really shines like a sun as well. So you see a lot of sun sign, right? And the moon as well. So your future spouse, like, they cannot really take off their eyes off you, especially like over time and even like at the first impression, because you have the energy of someone that, you know, stands in the crowd without you even having to try. So you have that energy where you're not trying, but your energy really stands out, and that is how your future spouse sees you. And they sees you as someone that they cannot look away, you know, like the sun and the moon, right? Because your future spouse is very like conscious that you are close, because you are like the sun and the moon, that even if your future spouse is not looking at you, they can see you, right? They know that you are there. So your energy really speaks for itself for your future spouse. Like, your future spouse really finds you to be so attractive that they cannot ignore you, you know, because they really want to admire you, and your future spouse really loves to see you and feel your warmth and feel those kind of the warmth and the coolness as well of you. So yeah, I can see that your future spouse really sees you as someone who also, right, brings in a lot of warmth and also a lot of coolness. So meaning that you bring like compassion, and you bring like the kind of active listening skills to your future spouse, and they really see you as that kind of person who is very good at human interactions, and they also feel your coolness, meaning that you are able to stay calm like water as well. So yeah, your future spouse feels a mixture of like, you know, like earth, fire, and also water kind of energy from you. So that is how they see you. They see you as someone that they can really vibe with, you know, and in all those kind of elements. So yeah, you're someone who really brings out those really feel good chemicals, you know, from your future spouse. So that is how they really see you. So let's see what else your future spouse sees you as. If you want a private tarot reading video, you can visit my website, thezintarot.com, and follow the easy steps. Write down your question and place your order and get your tarot reading within 24 to 48 hours. And also there is a free gift for you on my website, thezintarot.com, so you can check it out as well. Ooh, the devil. So yeah, I can see that your future spouse really sees you as someone who shares a lot of toxic experiences in the past. Maybe you have had really similar karmic relationships in the past, and because of that, you can both feel connected to each other a bit more, you know? For example, it could be that you both really like, you know, you both knew that you deserved better, but you really, you know, let yourself be in the relationships where, you know, you could have done better and you just settled for it, perhaps because maybe you were just inexperienced, or maybe you were naive, right? Because of that, your shame and the devil card is really connected to each other, because you know your future spouse really sees you as someone who really understands the, you know, impacts of the karmic relationships, meaning that you and your future spouse have the energy of someone who do not want to repeat those karmic relationships anymore. You're done, you're finished, you're tired of it, and because of that your future spouse can see it. And I can see that once you really get down to business, right, talking about relationships and dating, that kind of conversation will really come up between you and your future spouse, and you're both gonna like find out what happened in the past. Maybe people have done you wrong, like maybe they cheated on you, they betrayed you, those kind of things. And because of that, you and your future spouse really shares like the karmic lessons from your past karmic relationships. That is what we see so far. So yeah. And Two of Cups, yeah, it's really in tied with the Devil card, meaning that you and your future spouse really shares the same goal of what the future, you know, like healthy relationship and the ideal relationship and the marriage that you want to look like. And because of that, it's very like amazing for your future spouse, because, you know, they finally see someone with the similar experiences that and similar lessons that you've gone through, and the attitude that you have is really good for your future spouse, and your future spouse really sees you as someone they can really build a long-term connection with, you know, especially when it comes to the ideals and values in a relationship. You really have the same idea, same values, and because of that your future spouse really, you know, appreciates you, and they really like cannot help but be closer to you. And I can see that, like, you know, they really feel like a magnet, you know, to you, and yeah, very attracted to you. And the Empress card tells me your future spouse sees you as someone, right, very kind, someone very, you know, beautiful, handsome, someone who is, you know, full of like flower energy and full of nature energy, meaning that your future spouse sees you as someone, you know, who says what you mean, and you don't have any like pretense, right? You don't have any masks that you're wearing. Your future spouse knows that they can trust you. Your future spouse knows that you are someone really like worthy of being like just worthy and deserving of the best things in life possible, and you really make them feel soft and grounded, and your future spouse really sees you as someone who is able to, you know, like show a lot of good feelings and incite a lot of good feelings in them as well. So you are someone who really makes your future spouse feel really nurtured. So they really see you as someone very nurturing, and the mother of their children and the father of their children, you know, they really see you as someone that is able to, you know, turn off the ego and really be pure and really show up as a lover simply as you are, without any pretense and without, you know, trying too hard, for example. So that, yeah, that is what we know, how your future spouse sees you over time as well. Okay, so let's see what else. Okay, so your future spouse also sees you as someone who is very curious, you know, who has a lot of dreams, and someone who has a lot of ideas. So your future spouse really sees you as someone who is very like creative and who is very smart when it comes to especially brainstorming and a lot of creative projects where you don't really use like mathematical kind of things, but you use a lot more like storytelling and, you know, like creating arts, for example. So your future spouse sees you as someone who is creative by nature, you know, you're very imaginative, and you are someone who always like tries to see a lot of like positive possibilities as well when something comes your way, and you try to enjoy life. That is how your future spouse really sees you. And they sees you as someone also like a daydreamer as well. Your future spouse thinks that you're someone like, you know, like the vibe of a Disney princess, you know, like singing, dancing, and even through challenges, you are able to be kind to animals, right? You're able to form friendships with the people who care about you and you care about, and you are able to have that kind of magical spark atmosphere, you know, and you are someone who is very like, you know, cute and adorable, and your future spouse really wants to take care of you. So those kind of feelings really come from your future spouse when they see you, right? So that is what we know so far. And let's see what else. Yeah, Queen of Cups really like hit the nail that your future spouse sees you as someone who is able to make them feel so emotionally happy and fulfilled. And you know, your future spouse sees you as someone romantic as well, like someone who is able to, you know, compliment them in a way that when something is bothering them, you are someone who can give like a very calm advice and or like a very good emotional support. And you are someone like home that they really want to go to after the end of a long day, right? That is how they see you. Like they really already see you as someone like very like their life anchor, like someone that is their foundation and basic of life, meaning that you are their home, right? You're like the tree and the roots that really make the tree stand up, right? So that is how your future spouse sees you, and they really cannot wait to, you know, build a family with you. So that is what your future spouse sees you, how your future spouse sees you. So this is general reading. Take what is resonate and what you want to manifest from this reading. And thank you so much for watching. Like and subscribe. You can visit my website for tarot reading too. And thank you and have a great day. Hi, group 2. Relax, sit back. We're gonna get into details how your future spouse sees you. Opal really like makes you feel calm, connected, and we're gonna get into details. Group 2, how your future spouse sees you. Knight of Cups, yeah. Very cute already. The Lovers and the Three of Wands, all right. And we're gonna get one more card, Eight of Cups, all right. Your future spouse really sees you as someone who is almost like a hopeless romantic in a way that is adorable to them, you know, like you are someone who, when you really like fall in love or when you really feel attracted to someone, you are loyal, you know, you're loyal very fast, and it's your future spouse sees it as a good thing because that means that you have your heart in a good place, you have your mind in a good place, and your loyalty is very like admirable because you are someone, when you know you get to know someone, when you form a connection, even if it's like a friendship, you are someone who really tries to maintain it, and you are someone who really puts a lot of efforts, like even from the little things that you do, your future spouse sees that you're someone who is, you know, detail oriented, and you give a lot of attention, and you observe the other person, and you know, you observe what they might be needing, what they might be thinking, and you are someone who is, you know, very kind like that. Like you're someone who observe, like if someone looks like they are tired and maybe like after, you know, working out, and they look like, you know, they need a drink and they look like they need to, you know, rest and just lie down, you are someone like who really asks the right questions, like, hey, you need something, you know, you're someone very like kind and helpful. So that is how your future spouse sees you as well. And you're also someone like super romantic, meaning that your future spouse, like even from the first impressions, they already sees you like that because you admit that energy of someone who really values, you know, romance and marriage, because you might have the values same as your future spouse, that, you know, marriage and unions, two people, you know, and starting your own family might be one of your biggest life goals. And you know, maybe you already shared that when you meet your future spouse, and because of that, your future spouse knows that you are not someone to just be joking around and, you know, just be dating casually around, but you're someone with the really stable values in life, especially about marriage. So your future spouse really knows that you're someone, you know, that they do not want to break your heart, because they really value you and really, you know, care about you even when they first meet you, because you really give off the energy of someone that really needs their heart to be valued, you know, to your future spouse. And you know, your future spouse also sees you as someone that they want to really get to know one layer by layer. Like they are someone who knows that you're worth the time, really worth the efforts and worth the consistency. And they also see you as someone like that, like someone who can, you know, give out the same consistency and the same kind of love and attention and energy put into a relationship. And you know, you are focused, especially when it comes to human connections and the love connections. You are focused to making sure that those connections are well taken care of, and you really show up to the people that you care about, and you really show up for the person that you really want to get to know. And your future spouse really sees you as someone like that, right? And your future spouse also sees you as someone who is able to, you know, be the light of the party, meaning that you really make the atmosphere wherever you go to be more brighter, because you know, you have this kind of like good people skills, and you are someone who sees, you know, your future spouse sees you as someone who sees the good in people, right? And you are someone who really wants to believe in good in people, and because of that, people tend to radiate towards you, including your future spouse. And your future spouse really respects you for it, and they think that it's a very good trait to have, and they really see it to be an endearing quality in you, right? And your future spouse also like you know, believes that you have unexpected charms, right? So you're very like serious on the human connections, and you really take care of people you love, and your future spouse really appreciates that about you. And at the same time, you have this adventurous energy. Like you're someone who wants to go out there, and you're someone who wants to really make sure that you are living your best life and the fullest life. And you, like your future spouse sees you as someone who wants to live a meaningful life, meaning that, you know, they see you as someone who doesn't want to waste your life away, and someone who is always thinking about the next steps in life. Like, okay, like what am I gonna do about this career-wise? Am I gonna be happy emotionally doing this job for the next 5 years? And you know, where should I go for my next trip? And you know, like how can I incorporate joy in my daily life? That is how your future spouse sees you, as someone who is always constantly thinking about both your emotional world and your life experiences. You know, like they see you as someone who is always trying to make the best out of life, and they really admire you for it. And they also see you as someone who is not afraid to walk away from someone like that do not care about you, and they see you as someone like very brave. If you want a private tarot reading video, you can visit my website, thezintarot.com, and follow the easy steps. Write down your question and place your order, and get your tarot reading within 24 to 48 hours. And also there is a free gift for you on my website, thezintarot.com, so you can check it out as well. To, you know, leave all the situations, like leave the jobs, leave the situation, leave the people, and just walk away. Walk away, because when your self-respect is not honored, when your efforts and energy are not reciprocated after some time, you walk away. And you know, your future spouse sees you as someone who is able to do this brave action, and they admire you for it. And you know, you walk away only like after you give like chances to people. Like you don't walk away super fast, you know. You might give people like, you know, first chance, second chance, third chance, and sometimes even fourth chance, you know. And at the same time, you're like, all right, you know, I've already given enough chances, and I think that's enough. And you walk away. So you walk away after making like a, you know, good compromise and good chances to the people, and not just like impulsively, right? So your future spouse really like admires you for it. And you know, they might say to you something like, yeah, it's good that you know, walk away and please prioritize your mental health and your emotional happiness first. And you know, because of that, they really respect you for it. That is how that energy that we're getting here, right? So let's see what else. The Magician. Yeah, your future spouse really like sees you as someone very well-rounded. Very well-rounded, as in you are someone who is able to be very knowledgeable. I think your future spouse sees you as someone super intelligent and super capable of everything and anything that you put your mind to. Like your future spouse sees you as someone like if you want to learn a language, right? You really like go out there and commit. If you are really interested, you're someone who can really like be fluent in the language that you want to learn. And if you want to really, if you're becoming really interested in dancing or like art as a hobby, you can become really good at it. And your future spouse really sees you as someone very like skilled and talented and very intelligent, like almost like a genius when it comes to you really acquiring the skills once you're interested in them. So your future spouse sees you as someone who can manifest anything that you are interested in and you put your mind to. So your future spouse really believes in your possibilities and really believes in your potentials and really believes in you to be able to do anything that you put your mind to. And because of that, your future spouse sees you as someone like almost perfect, someone who's got the brains, someone who's got the beauty, and someone who's got the social skills and the emotional intelligence. So yeah, your future spouse really sees you as someone that is very like remarkable. They see you and they think, wow, this person is perfect, like, and they feel like, oh, do I deserve you? That is how your future spouse sometimes even feel about you. And Princess of Swords, Page of Swords, and King of Swords really tells me your future spouse sees you as someone who is able to be very quick-witted and someone funny as well. Like you have these kind of jokes that you have leave on your future spouse that they really think after days, maybe even after months, and it really sticks with them. You have this wittiness about you that your future spouse really appreciates, and your future spouse really sees you as someone who is able to have a lot of intelligent humor and intelligent conversations and really like just intelligence in general, right? And King of Swords tells me that they really see you as someone who is able to, like be logical when you need to be, and someone with superior knowledge and experience on some things that you're doing, right? Maybe you are like really, I think group 2, your future spouse really sees you as like exceptional in something, like at least one thing. It could be language learning, right? Like I've mentioned, maybe you pick up languages easily and they're impressed by your intelligence regarding that. Or maybe you pick up like art very easily and you become really better after just some time, and your future spouse is impressed by that. So there are some areas of knowledge and expertise that you don't really like recognize within yourself, or you don't really like give yourself much credits for, that your future spouse is really impressed by, So that is what we're seeing here. And your future spouse also sees you as someone who is able to move forward to the positive future, even after like a lot of challenges, meaning that they see you as someone who is able to push through life with the optimistic energy as well. It's very similar to group 1. So yeah, 8 of Wands is all about, energy of someone with the, a lot of ambitious energy, but also like energy of, I'm not going to give up and I'm always going to push forward. I'm always going to do my best. Even if I fall back down, I'm going to get up. So yeah, your future spouse sees you as someone who has that kind of like mental resilience and the perseverance, right? Perseverance, yes. That kind of a person that they really, really like respect and admire. So they really see you as someone who is able to, grow, and who is able to learn more and more and more. And you're someone like very intelligent, that is how your future spouse sees you. Like you are someone who is able to be objective with yourself if you need to be, and really learn to grow and develop yourself, for example. And you're someone who is able to look at big picture, according to your future spouse's views. Like they see you as someone very big picture, like, walking away from, relationships or connections or jobs, you are walking away not because, it's impulsive, right? You're walking away because of your big picture of you really, wanting the best life for yourself in the short time that you have, right? Those kind of energy. So because of that, your future spouse really sees you as someone very big pictured and very, someone who really knows what you want and need, like someone who really has your own personality set and your own value set in a way that you're also, of course, flexible if you need to. And someone just very, very balanced and admirable. You know, that is what we're sensing here. So let's see what else, how your future spouse sees you. Twin flame, of course, yeah. And listen to your intuitive feelings, yeah. So your future spouse sees you as someone like their twin flame, right? Twin flame, and meaning that, you know, your future spouse, as soon as they meet you, like the first impressions, they really believe that, right? The lovers and twin flame really confirms that they really believe and feel the connections of the long-term potential that you both are going to have. So there's like this very like intuitive voice in your future spouse's head saying that you are someone that is their future spouse, you know. So yeah, there's a intuitive soul connection that you both feel for each other, and your future spouse also sees you as someone, you know, that is able to be like the angel to their life and someone who really brings in the beautiful feelings to their life, and someone whom they connect with intuitively. So maybe there are conversations, right? Philosophical, psychological, for example, and you know, you and your future spouse are able to go deeper into the conversations and really connect on the same values as such. So that is how your future spouse sees you, group 2. So group 2, thank you so much for watching, and like and subscribe, I would really appreciate that. Let me know what you think, what you want to watch in my next videos. You can go to my website if you want to get a private reading. So thank you and have a great day. Hello group 3, sit back, relax. We're gonna get details about how your future spouse sees you, and crystal energy is just cleansing your soul. So let's see how your future spouse sees you. General reading, take what resonates and what you want to manifest. Child, wow. All right, so your future spouse really sees you as someone that really gives off the energy of someone that they can really feel the innocence and purity and just fun and play, and someone that they can really let go, let loose of the worries and just enjoy the present moment, right? You bring in the fresh energy, very pure, innocent energy, where you and your future spouse are both exchanging good energy, you know, speaking in a very light-hearted conversations, light tone, but at the same time, you know, keeping deep conversations and, you know, like laughing together, playing together. I imagine you and your future spouse activities could be playing games, you know, board games, or, you know, playing basketball, or just, you know, like anything that involve play. Maybe you sing karaoke together, for example, and or you just have that kind of playful energy together, and your future spouse really sees you as someone that can really bring out their inner child, you know, that can really make their inner child dance and happy, and that can really make them really just, you know, come home to you and then just forget about anything, forget about, you know, responsibilities of their jobs, and just enjoy the fun and the life story, right? In a way that is very just lighthearted. So your future spouse really can let go of everything and let loose, and it's very fun to be with you. That's how your future spouse sees you. And yeah, your future spouse really feels that your energy also really corresponds to someone, you know, with wings, meaning that your future spouse sees you as someone like an angel, meaning that, you know, you really bring in so fresh energy, like the sunshine, right? And maybe they even might call you like, oh, you're the sunshine of my life, for example, which is so sweet, you know, group 3. And I can see that, yeah, your future spouse definitely feels that when you are with them, they just feel so good, like much more than they can tell you. They really feel so like the sun is like smiling on them, and they're getting all the good nutrients that makes up their heart's nutrients to be fulfilled, right? For example. And shower of abundance, meaning that, you know, you really motivate your future spouse and you really inspire your future spouse. So if your future spouse is someone who works in creative fields, you are like the muse, right, of their work, of their artistic work. Or if your future spouse is just working in like finance and software and coding, you are also someone who is able to, you know, motivate them to work harder so that they can be with you and, you know, buy you gifts, shower you with love. So you're someone who really inspires your future spouse, and, you know, your future spouse really sees you as someone that they really want to keep for life, of course. And they want to also build a family with you, you know, because you just have this awesome energy that they feel right away, and they just want to, you know, make copies of you like a future family together, right? And they want to, you know, keep the love between you. And yeah, they really are family oriented as well. So I think your future spouse also feels that you're someone whom they can really build that kind of family with, so they really appreciate you a lot. So let's see what else using the tarot cards. How does your future spouse sees you? Yeah, you are someone that they can really relax. Again, right? Four of Swords is about relaxation, and Eight of Swords is about, you know, being trapped. But being trapped meaning that, you know, you're someone who brings them out of their comfort zone, right? And you, oh wow, this is so sweet actually. The World card is really like telling me your future spouse really has a big crush on you, right? Like when they see you, or I think that you will notice it in their eyes when they look at you. Group 3, like when you meet your future spouse, like they really have those kind of sparkly eyes, like the dog puppy eyes, like just looking at you just because they really admire you and they really have crush on you, that they have those kind of like eyes that pops out like love, you know, from their eyes. And yeah, that's how they see you. Like they really see you as the center of their world, and I think they really feel like very attracted to you, very infatuated with you, and they see you as someone that they can really like have a very happy life with. So yeah, they see you as their forever, you know. That is so sweet. Like they really see you as someone forever, and they want to keep it that way. And they can see like nobody else's but only with you, right? So that is the sort of energy that really tells me that you make them really feel complete, and they really sees you as someone that can really, you know, complete and complement them as well. And again, like Four of Swords and Eight of Swords tells me that, you know, your future spouse really might be like having some kind of complementary traits to you. Like if you are someone who likes to, you know, stay inside or go out, your future spouse is the opposite, right? So you have those kind of complementary traits, and your future spouse sees you as someone that you know, they can get out of comfort zone with together. So you're someone who is able to get your future spouse out of their shell, and you're someone who can, you know, open your future spouse's eyes, you know. So you're someone who can really say like, hey, you know what, you're not stuck in this situation, you can break free, for example. If you want a private tarot reading video, you can visit my website, thezintarot.com, and follow the easy steps. Write down your question and place your order and get your tarot reading within 24 to 48 hours. And also there is a free gift for you on my website, thezintarot.com, so you can check it out as well. And your future spouse is like, yeah, you're right, and vice versa. You know, you have this kind of connection where you both really open your each other's eyes, you know. So yeah, Four of Swords tells me that your future spouse really sees you as someone that they don't really have to say anything, and just, you know, relax, come home to and just cuddle and, you know, just enjoy each other's presence. And I can see that your future spouse sees you as someone like they can enjoy their own hobbies while still being with you in the same space, you know. Like for example, one of you might be playing game and one of you might be reading book, and I can see you like spending those time. And I can see that you and your future spouse, right, your future spouse really sees you as someone who really respect your differences, you know. And yeah, your future spouse also sees you as someone who is calm and someone who is able to be connected with yourself spiritually as well, like maybe through meditation, yoga, or just retreats and doing a lot of energy work. And your future spouse can really feel that kind of energy work that you do, and your future spouse really feels that you both have very good balanced traits in each other, so your future spouse really feels appreciative of you. So let's see what else. Yeah, Princess of Cups, Page of Cups, and the Star. Wow. So yeah, your future spouse feels that you really make them feel like healed and calm, and you really make them feel heard and listened to, and you really make them feel really understood, you know, in ways that they've never been able to. And I can see that it's because of your, you know, like playful energy as well. And at the same time, right, with the Princess of Cups, you have that kind of emotional intelligence while staying playful, and you know, you have that kind of good balance between work and play, both in life general and also in romantic connections. Like you're someone who is able to get serious if the situation calls for it, and you're someone who is able to have, you know, deep conversations if situations call for it. But you're also someone who might be crying, right, because of stress, and then at the same time you're someone who finds something to be funny about, or you're someone like who would crack a joke and it really throws people off in a very funny way. And yeah, your future spouse really sees you as someone like who is able to laugh no matter what, and who is able to get back up no matter what. And your future spouse sees you as someone that they can do a lot of healing activities and calm activities together with. And I can sense a lot of like water energy, you know, you and your future spouse really sees you as someone very flexible. They see you as someone who is able to go with the flow of the life, and they see you as someone who is adaptable to any situations. They see you as someone who is able to adjust to people. They see you as someone who is able to, you know, look at someone and can read between the lines. You know, you're someone who doesn't have to be told twice, you know, about the situations and the people in your life. Like if they, for example, if your future spouse has a, you know, a long time that they want, you don't have to be told twice, and you're someone who is able to be like, hey, you know what, yeah, isn't it your time to take a long time right today, for example. So you're someone who is very like considerate, you know, you keep people's personality and wants and needs in your mind, and you really try your best to cater to them, especially to the people you love and care about. And your future spouse really sees that as a very good strength and something that they really, really feel attracted to you by. And the Star card also tells me that, you know, your future spouse actually sees you as almost like a therapist energy, meaning that you're someone who is so good at like supporting people emotionally and listening to other people, even like, you know, without giving therapist words. You know, you're someone who is able to listen attentively and really like hear what people are saying. You know, you don't just listen, you hear, you know. Oh wait, you don't just hear, you listen. Yeah, so yeah, that is what we're seeing here. So let's see what we have. All right, we're getting more details. You know what? It's the general reading. Let's get more details. Yeah, the Fool card tells me that, you know, again, right, playful energy, and your future spouse sees you as someone that they can really go on adventure with, and someone that, you know, like can ease their worries. You know, like if your future spouse is taking life too seriously, you are someone with that kind of energy that really balances out. Like when your future spouse is being serious, you're someone who would crack a joke in the middle of the serious situation in a way that is really like funny, and in a way that reminds you that, you know, life is short, let's enjoy it while we can, kind of vibe. And it's true, you know, your future spouse really can feel good with you, and they also see you as someone adventurous and someone who is always like looking for new things, new beginnings. And your future spouse really feels that with you they can do anything, like they can start over again and again. And I think maybe group 3, you might have born into like a, or you might have grown up in a country or a city that is not your own, like that is not your own culture, because yeah, you have that kind of flexibility and you have that kind of like characterized personality where you are not afraid to start over. You have that kind of bravery, and you have that kind of open mind, and you have that kind of energy where you're happy and excited to start your life over and over again. Like even if you have to move to a new city completely, starting from zero, starting from scratch, even if you have to like take up a new job completely, you're able to do it with excitement instead of anxiety, you know. And at least that is how your future spouse sees you, right? That is how we're seeing here. So let's see what else. Queen of Cups, yeah, that really confirms that your future spouse sees you as someone, you know, that they can really feel like you're the queen or the king of their life. You know, it's so sweet actually. And Queen of Cups tells me that they see you as someone who is able to be nurturing and who is able to be making them feel really good and happier, and someone who is able to call out on them if it needs to be, as in like calling out in a very like nurturing and emotionally kind way, you know, like they see you as someone that is very able to take care of them as well. And they see you as someone very balanced. They see you as someone whose soul is also sensitive, right? But they also see you as someone who is very trustworthy. Like if someone confides in you, your future spouse sees you as someone that do not like rat out another person, you know. They are someone who can keep the confidentiality. And Nine of Swords tells me, yeah, your future spouse really sees you as someone that they can really have a good night's with, meaning that you really helps them, you know, like not dwell on their stress, and you really get them, especially tied with the Queen of Cups, you really make them not dwell on their problems and get over it, like with the help of your guidance and your emotional intelligence and what you have to say and the solutions that you have to offer. I think you have a lot of ways that you use to take care of yourselves, like self-care activities, and your future spouse really appreciates you for, you know, showing them the way. So yeah, group 3, this is your reading. Like and subscribe, I really appreciate that. Let me know what your thoughts, what you want to watch next. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day. Alright, group 4, welcome to your reading. And clear crystal expels bad energy. So let's see, how does your future spouse sees you? Sit back, relax, we're gonna get a lot of details, okay? Alright, let's mix it up. Let's really shuffle it up. Up. And we're gonna draw 2 more cards. Right, let's draw up. All right, so your future spouse really sees you as someone who is able to inspire people, especially like you're someone who is very loyal as well, and you're someone who really inspires people to feel better, do better, and motivate better, and focus on the meaningful things in life, and focus on what is really important to them and what is really important for them to be doing right now, like focusing on the present instead of like the past disappointments. So your future spouse sees you as someone who is very like sharp and who is able to discern what is right and what is wrong, and what is necessary and what is not necessary. For example, like you're someone, if your future spouse is feeling sad and counting his or her losses, you are someone who will say, you know what, what's gone is gone, let's not cry over spilled milk. And you're someone who is like, hey, you know what, let's focus on what we can do now, and you know, let's focus on what we can control instead of focusing on what we cannot control. So that is at least, right, how your future spouse sees you, they really sees you as someone who is able to say, yeah, let's do this. Like your future spouse sees you as someone who is like action oriented and value oriented and the dream driven as well. You're someone that is able to really focus on the big picture, even if the small details are falling apart in life, you know. So yeah, your future spouse really sees you as someone like that. And the Chariot card and the Six of Pentacles tells me they see you as someone who goes for what you want without hesitation. They see you as someone who is brave. They see you as someone who is able to be like, I want that, I need that, and I will go for it, right? And you know, also they see you as someone who is not afraid to try new things, and they see you as someone who is not afraid to go to new places even if you go there alone. And they see you as someone who also has a lot of like influence over people around you, like things that you say and things that you do, right, in your future spouse's eyes have a lot of influence on other people and also on your future spouse, much more than you think. So it could be that you are doing something like waking up early in the morning, and that in turn really influenced the people around you to do the same, right? And you might not even notice it, but yeah, that is how your future spouse sees you. And they also sees you as someone who is strong-willed and someone who is assertive, right? You might not be like you know, strong speaker, like you might not be like loud speaker, for example, but you are someone who is able to go after what you want at the end of the day, right? You really stay true to your values. That is how your future spouse sees you. Like if you don't like the way that things are going, you are going to express your opinion in a way that is going to be assertive but not rude, right? You're someone who is able to really stand up for yourself at the end of the day, right? You might go through ups and downs in expressing your thoughts, opinions, and like those kind of things, but at the end of the day, right, you're someone who is able to do that kind of brave thing. Like maybe you might leave a job where it doesn't really make you, it feels like draining to you and it's just toxic, right? You're someone who is able to maybe at first go through ups and downs of, ooh, like what should I do? Is it the right decision? You're going to weigh your options, but then at the same time you're going to, once you make up your mind, you're going to do it. Like you're going to leave the job or you're going to ask for that promotion, and you're someone who is able to do like that, right, without any worries. And you're someone who is able to also have good people around you as well. Like you have some people that are really admiring you, and it could be your people skills, it could be your intelligence, it could be your lifestyle and your knowledge and the skills that you have, right? That's how your future spouse sees you. Like you have those skills that people feel drawn to. That is how your future spouse sees. And Six of Pentacles tells me that your future spouse sees you as someone like very generous. You know, you're someone who doesn't really want to keep things that you earn alone only for yourself, right? Your future spouse sees you as someone who is like into sharing things, right? Because you believe that sharing is caring, you know? That is how your future spouse sees you, and they sees you as someone who doesn't want to be greedy, who doesn't want to be attached to financial things, or who doesn't want to be attached to their earthly forms. And your future spouse sees you as someone a lot more like elevated spirituality than that, right? They sees you as someone who really just wants to have that kind of connection, that kind of meaningful conversation, meaningful life, and meaningful experiences in life, that you are not materialistic. That is how your future spouse sees you. Like you're someone, right? Like for example, if you are eating something and you know someone wants a piece of that food, you give it to them. You know, you're like, you know what, it's fine, like I have a lot of that on my plate anyway, and you share that to other people, right, for example. And or you share, like if you earn a little bit more on extra some days or months, you are someone who would surprise your future spouse with the surprise gift or an experience that you both share together. So yeah, you are someone who is, you know, generous with your time, energy, gifts, and efforts as well. So that is how your future spouse sees you and our energy so far. So let's see what we need to know, how your future spouse sees you. Let's get more details, group 4. This is general reading, so take what you want to manifest and leave the rest, right? If you want a private tarot reading video, you can visit my website, thezintarot.com, and follow the easy steps. Write down your question and place your order and get your tarot reading within 24 to 48 hours. And also there is a free gift for you on my website, thezintarot.com, so you can check it out as well. Right, sacral chakra. All right. Okay, that's interesting. Crystal clear energy. So let's go through one by one. Sacral chakra. You are highly sensitive to chemicals, additives, processed food, and energies right now. Respect your sensitivities by avoiding harsh items, situations, and relationships. So your future spouse sees you as someone who with a sensitive soul, meaning that you have an idea, right? You might be an idealistic as well. You have an idea, you have a vision of what kind of life, what kind of connections, what kind of friendships, what kind of people you want to surround yourself with, and you don't really settle for less. That is how your future spouse sees you. And they also sees you as someone who has that kind of clean energy, or someone who doesn't really indulge in things like materialistic things. Like you don't go shopping on a impulse too much, right? You don't do that on a regular basis, and you're someone who's not vain, right? That is how your future spouse sees you. You're not vain, meaning that you don't look at yourself like 100 times a day. You're not like trying to be extra focused on appearance, physical appearance. No, you're someone who focuses a lot more on the soul and the meaningful things in life. Mediumship. So your future spouse sees you as someone who is connected to your spiritual world and to your soul. Like you have a calling, soul calling, and a lot of like purpose already set in you. That's how your future spouse sees you. Like they see you as someone who already know the purpose of your life and the calling of your soul, and you follow that kind of soul calling things no matter what comes your way, right? No matter the disappointments, no matter the setbacks, you are able to be fixated on that vision of what you want. So that is how your future spouse sees you. Crystal. So the clear crystal is about the clearing away bad energies and really having that kind of focusing on yourself, but in a way that is not selfish, right? Focusing on yourself while doing no harm to others. So you're someone who minds your own business, right? So that is very good. Like you're not someone to butt into other people's business and tell them what to do and tell them how to feel. You just try to accept people for who they are, and you know that people have their own agencies, right? They have their own mind and thoughts process, and they have their own decision process, and they have their own values, or even if other people don't know themselves, like it's their journey to be had, right? You're someone who is able to be like, it's not my business, and your future spouse sees you as someone like that. Like you don't really butt into other people's business. Law of attraction. Relationships and activities that you once enjoyed are now changing as you become more sensitive and aware of energies. Okay, so your future spouse sees you as someone who is constantly trying to develop yourself. Maybe you read a lot of like self-development, self-help books, and you are someone who always tries to adjust and create new routines if you need to, and try different activities that really raises your energy level, and that really raises your desires, and that really adhere to your soul calling in life and your purpose in life. So you're someone who is experimenting yourself, maybe with diet, right? Maybe you might try to have like a vegetarian diet just because why not, to see the effects. And you're someone who is able to be open-minded, right? And you're someone who is able to tap into the energy of people, like not only for yourself but on other people as well. You can read other people's energy, and you're someone that is sensitive and very self-aware, right? And also you're aware of other people's emotional world as well. Like even if one person is not speaking anything, you can really sense their energy and what might be going on in their mind. So you have that kind of sensitive soul, and you really like try to go with the flow of the life as well, but at the same time you're very like, you know, action oriented at the same time. So yeah, your future spouse sees you as someone very balanced between taking action and then also, you know, chilling when you need to. So you're someone who is able to, you know, reflect, self-reflect, and you're someone who is able to combine, after the self-reflection, combine your self-reflection with the action, meaning that you not only talk but you also walk, right? You not just do the talk but you also walk the walk. So that is what we're seeing here. So let's see what else. Cupid, all right. Cleanse and detoxify. Yeah, so your future spouse really sees you as someone that really brings in a lot of great love into their life, and they really make, you know, you really make them feel like life, you know, when you focus on the important things in life, there is only joy to be had, and that's how your future spouse feels when you're with them. And yeah, your future spouse sees you as someone that they want to celebrate life together with, and you know, you're someone who is happy for other people's success instead of being jealous, and because of that you have this kind of like pure energy, right? So yeah, your future spouse feels really fated to be with you with this Cupid card. Cleanse and detoxify. Yeah, so your future spouse is someone who knows that you're always trying to, you know, pure yourself, as in like if you're feeling stressed, you're trying to clarify those stress out by doing things that self-care activities, for example. And you're someone who is able to, you know, be like snap out of it. Like for example, if you have a lot of like bad habits, you realize it, you self-reflect it, you write down, for example, what your bad habits are, and you try your best to, you know, cleanse and again detoxify. If you have been eating a lot of junk food, you try to be like, all right, let's get back to clean eating again, for example. And you know, you have those kind of like very self-awareness, and you have that kind of like very high level of inspiration and motivation to keep yourself really clean, both mentally and emotionally and physically as well. So that's how your future spouse sees you, right? They see you as someone who can really take care of themselves, and they really respect you for it. Yeah, like, because that means that, you know, both you and your future spouse are people who can really take care of yourselves, and then you come back together as two, and it's a very happy marriage, you know, because when you can take care of yourself, like when you're pouring from an empty cup, right, you cannot pour out into another person's cup. So what I can see that your future spouse sees you as someone who is able to, you know, make sure that your own empty cup is full and filled to the brim before you come together, and because of that your future spouse really respects that about you. So yeah, group 4, this is your reading, and I really hope that you enjoyed, and like and subscribe, I would really appreciate that. Let me know your thoughts and what videos you want to see next. You can visit my website for private readings if you wish to. And thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great day.